Nearly 2,000 years ago, deep within the untouched wilderness of the Amazon rainforest, construction began in a place where no roads existed, no machines could reach, and no clear path guided the way. The jungle was thick, the ground uneven, and the air heavy with moisture. Yet step by step, the land was shaped with patience and precision. Stone by stone, earth by earth, the foundation of something hidden started to take form, not through force, but through understanding. The forest was not cleared entirely. Instead, it was carefully opened in sections, allowing structures to rise without breaking the balance of the environment. Massive trees were cut using sharpened stone tools, their trunks shaped and placed with purpose, while roots were removed slowly, exposing the dark soil beneath. It was not quick work, and it was never meant to be. Every movement was deliberate, every decision guided by observation of the land itself. The first structures were simple, raised slightly above the ground to avoid flooding and dampness, built from wood, stone, and compacted earth. But even in their simplicity, there was a clear sense of planning. They were not scattered randomly. They followed patterns, aligning with natural pathways, water flow, and elevation. Over time, these small constructions began to connect, forming a network that expanded deeper into the jungle. Pathways were carved carefully, narrow and hidden, winding through dense vegetation in ways that made them invisible to anyone unfamiliar with their design. From above, nothing seemed unusual, just endless green stretching in every direction. Yet beneath that canopy, something extraordinary was growing. The greatest challenge was not building, but surviving while building. The soil, at first, did not easily support consistent growth, yet it was slowly transformed. Ash from controlled fires was mixed with organic matter, creating a darker, richer earth that could hold nutrients. This allowed crops to grow in places where they otherwise would not, ensuring a steady source of food. Water was guided through simple channels, following the natural slope of the land, preventing flooding while providing what was needed for living and cultivation. Every element of survival was integrated into the construction itself, making the settlement not separate from the jungle, but part of it. As the years passed, the structures became more complex. Stone platforms began to rise, carefully layered and reinforced to create stable ground above the shifting earth. Terraces were carved into uneven terrain, creating levels that allowed expansion without disrupting the surrounding forest. Heavy stones were moved without metal tools, lifted through coordinated effort, balanced with ropes made from plant fibers, and placed with precision that required both strength and understanding of weight and motion. Nothing was wasted, and nothing was rushed. The process itself became a rhythm, repeated over generations, each new layer built upon the last. At the center of this hidden expansion, larger structures began to appear. These were not ordinary spaces, but carefully constructed areas set apart from the rest, built with greater attention to detail and alignment. Their placement suggested purpose beyond simple shelter, positioned in ways that followed patterns in the sky and the land. Shadows fell across them in predictable ways, marking time without the need for tools or instruments. The construction here was slower, more deliberate, as if every stone carried meaning beyond its physical form. Wide steps led upward, disappearing into enclosed spaces where light barely reached, creating a contrast between the open forest and the quiet darkness within. Despite the growing complexity, nothing about the settlement broke the natural appearance of the jungle. Vines grew along walls, moss-covered stone, and trees remained integrated within the structures themselves. From a distance, it appeared untouched, as if nothing had changed. This was not accidental. It was part of the design. The empire was not meant to be seen, only lived in. It existed quietly, expanding beneath the surface of the forest, hidden in plain sight. Seasons changed, and with them came new challenges. Rainfall shifted, sometimes flooding the lower areas, sometimes leaving the soil dry and difficult to work with. Each time, adjustments were made. New channels were carved, old ones redirected, terraces expanded or reinforced. The construction was never truly finished. It adapted continuously, responding to the environment as it evolved. This ability to change became its greatest strength, allowing it to survive in conditions that would have destroyed anything less flexible. As generations passed, the network grew larger, connecting distant sections of the jungle through hidden paths and shared systems. What had once been a small effort had become something vast, stretching across miles without ever revealing its full shape. There were no walls marking its boundaries, no central structure dominating the land, yet everything was connected. Movement through the empire required knowledge, an understanding of the paths and patterns that held it together. Without that knowledge, it would be impossible to navigate, as if the jungle itself was protecting it. The deeper the construction went, the more the forest seemed to respond. Roots pushed through stone, vines wrapped tighter, and the line between structure and nature blurred even further. It was no longer clear where one ended and the other began. The empire did not stand against the jungle. It existed within it, shaped by it, and eventually influenced by it. The same forces that allowed it to grow also ensured that it could never remain unchanged. Slowly, subtle shifts began to appear. The balance that had once been carefully maintained started to strain under the weight of expansion. Certain areas became harder to sustain, requiring more effort to maintain the same level of stability. Water paths shifted unpredictably, affecting both construction and survival. The soil, though improved, demanded constant renewal, and without it, productivity declined. Adjustments continued, but the changes became more difficult to manage over time. The construction, once a steady and continuous process, began to slow. New structures were built less frequently, and attention shifted toward maintaining what already existed. Some pathways were used less, gradually fading, as vegetation reclaimed them. Certain sections, once active and essential, became quiet, their purpose no longer clear. The jungle, patient as always, began to close in, not suddenly but gradually, reclaiming space inch by inch. Stone cracked under pressure from growing roots. Platforms weakened as the earth beneath shifted. Terraces that once held firm began to erode. Each change was small on its own, but together they marked the beginning of something inevitable. The empire, built over generations, was not collapsing in a single moment, but dissolving slowly back into the environment from which it had emerged. Paths that once connected distant parts of the network became difficult to follow, then impossible to trace. Structures that had stood for years became hidden beneath layers of growth, their shapes softened, their edges blurred. What had once been clear became uncertain, and what had once been maintained became abandoned. The jungle did not destroy. It absorbed, covering every surface, filling every space, until nothing stood apart from it.
Time passed, and with each passing season, the signs of construction faded further. What remained was no longer a visible empire, but fragments, pieces scattered and hidden beneath the dense canopy.